Good evening, beloveds. I am so glad to see you, or wishing that I could see you. I am actually recording this on Wednesday as I realized that our flight from Florida doesn't get home until 6:45 in Phoenix time. So I'm not sure I'm going to be home yet for Vespers, but I wanted to make sure that we still had it. So thank you very much to Carrie for agreeing to play this. And we're still having Vespers together. I'm just doing it on a front porch or back porch from where we're staying in Florida. So I want to start with some grounding and breathing because the election is over and yet it's not. And it almost feels like March and April again, COVID-wise. It feels like we're starting over this cycle of doom where the numbers are climbing and we don't know how high they're going to get. And it feels scary and uncertain. And we are going into the holidays next week, and I know that for many of you, they're going to be looking very different than they have in the past, as they will be for me as well. So we're kind of back where we were 2 weeks ago, where it's like, let's just get reconnected with our bodies. Let's find our breath. Let's find our center. And we're going to be talking about hope today. The theme from our service from Reverend Christine Robinson from last Sunday, and how it might still apply to now. So get settled in your seat. Have your feet on the ground, or just feel your body connected to whatever you're in. Lower your shoulders. If your tongue is on the top of your mouth, lower it. Try to let go of some of the stress in your jaw. Let it go from your hands. Uncurl your toes. Take some deep breaths in. Wherever your breath is, try to slow it down. And picture whatever in nature brings you peace. Whether that's the visuals of the Slack Canyons, Grand Canyons, or a rambling stream, or clouds with the sunset, or animals, pets. Bring that into your heart and into your mind. Just bring down the pace of your breath and bring it deeper. If it's shallower, let it go further down into your chest. Let us be here in time and space and technology together. And please continue breathing and picturing that space and nature while we enjoy Mary playing.
It's true, Mary. You do always know the right thing to play. That was beautiful.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
As I said, we're going to continue the thought on hope that Reverend Christine Robinson started us out with. Now that we're nice and grounded, thank you, Mary. I want to share I want to share just first the poem that um, that Reverend Robinson started us with in the reading, which is "Hope is the Thing with Feathers" by Emily Dickinson. Because I've been struck with I didn't actually remember the rest of the poem, but the hope I remembered the first line and the last line. So I'm going to read it to you again to get it grounded for you. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. So that first line, that hope is the thing with feathers, that idea of this lightness, this thing that floats in the air. And the last line, yet never it asked a crumb of me. And I loved that idea that hope doesn't actually ask anything of me. It just is, whether I believe in it or not. And I wanted to share a second poem. This is a poem by Adam Zawadzewski, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing that. It sounds like it's a Polish name because it is a translated poem. And it's called Try to Praise the Mutilated World. And I love that contrast of the praising but acknowledging the challenge in the world and remembering the things that give us hope. So this is Try to Praise the Mutilated World. Try to praise the mutilated world. Remember June's long days and wild strawberries, drops of rosé wine, the nettles that methodically overgrow the abandoned homesteads of exiles. You must praise the mutilated world. You watched the stylish yachts and ships. One of them had a long trip ahead of it, while salty oblivion awaited others. You've seen the refugees going nowhere. You've heard the executioners sing joyfully. You should praise the mutilated world. Remember the moments when we were together in a white room and the curtain fluttered. Return in thought to the concert where music flared. You gathered acorns in the park in autumn, and leaves eddied over the earth's scars. Praise the mutilated world, and the gray feather a thrush lost, and the gentle light that strays and vanishes and returns. Take some moments to think about how you praise the mutilated world while we hear from Mary again.
Beautiful, Mary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. So I encourage you to think about where you find hope and what hope is for you, and how close or how far is it for you right now? Is it some of the places that Reverend Robinson mentioned? I loved that she grounded it for us in the thoughts of what Unitarian Universalists believe. Do we have hope that in the long arc, the moral arc of justice, is that hope for us? Is that our faith? Do we have hope in the power of humanity? Do we have hope in love, in the power of love? Or do you find it in more concrete places? Do you find hope in your family, in the sweetness and love of children in your world, or in other loved ones? Do you find hope in our congregation? So I want you to think about, where is hope for you? How close is it to you? Or how far away is it? And it might be that in some things it feels right there and it brings you joy and it's easy to imagine hope. And then in other things, it still feels far away. And that's all okay. I want to share one more poem called Of History and Hope. And it's by Miller Williams. And it is a poem about America. And there's this ideal of America, this kind of fantasy of America that I think a lot of us were taught when we were young, of, how wonderful America is. And I think it's been hard for many of us to deal with some of the many places that our country has fallen short, but also still have that hope in what the American ideals are. So this is Of History and Hope by Miller Williams. We have memorized America, how it was born and who we have been and where. In ceremonies and silence we say the words, telling the stories, singing the old songs. We like the places they take us. Mostly we do. The great and all the anonymous dead are there. We know the sound of all the sounds we brought. The rich taste of it is on our tongues. But where are we going to be? And why? And who? The disenfranchised dead want to know. We mean to be the people we meant to be, to keep on going where we meant to go. But how do we fashion the future? Who can say how except in the minds of those who will call it now? The children. The children. And how does our garden grow? With waving hands, oh, rarely in a row, and flowering faces, and brambles that we can no longer allow. Who were many people coming together cannot become one people falling apart. Who dreamed for every child an even chance cannot let luck alone turn doorknobs or not. Whose law was never so much of the hand as the head cannot let chaos make its way to the heart. Who have seen learning struggle from teacher to child cannot let ignorance spread itself like rot. We know what we have done and what we have said and how we have grown degree by slow degree, believing ourselves toward all we have tried to become, just and compassionate, equal, able, and free. All this in the hands of children, eyes already set on a land we never can visit. It isn't there yet. But looking through their eyes, we can see what our long gift to them may come to be. If we can truly remember, they will not forget. So, my dear ones, I look forward to seeing you live on Sunday. We're going to be talking about being the people who notice and how that connects with our liberal faith. And until then, I send you light, I send you hope, I send you love, I send you patience, I send you resilience, and I send you so much love in these extraordinary times. Know that you are not alone and that you are so, so loved. I will see you very soon. Many, many blessings to you.